profession, we have a foundation in looking at how we train people with physical exercise. We get some basic information on nutrition, but for chronic conditions, we really don't go into any depth. And if you're working with a population that's probably 40 and over, you're always going to have some chronic illness in there at some point. So having a little bit more in-depth knowledge on some of these chronic illnesses, for example, working with people with diabetes or prediabetes, working with people that have cancer or either survivors or going through treatment. When we look at our, for example, when we talk about our course, it's actually in the pursuit of, eating healthy, but also for helping to prevent chronic illness. Because we know, for example, what do we need to survive? We need to breathe air. We need to eat food. We need to drink liquids. But we need to make sure that all of these things are enhancing our health, not hindering it.
Welcome to a MedeXN Fitness Institute interview with Lisa Tsakos, registered holistic nutritionist and co-author of our natural nutrition coaching program. We also have Heather Creamer, who is the co-founder of MedeXN Fitness Institute. She's a cancer exercise specialist, personal trainer, and also a registered holistic nutritionist. I myself, Lynne Faires, am also a registered holistic nutritionist and business consultant who teamed up with these two lovely ladies to bring you this natural nutrition coach program for fitness and wellness professionals. Stay tuned to find out more about why we created this amazing program for you. And if you're interested, be sure to pop down into the show notes and download the free preview of the first module of the Natural Nutrition Coach program. Thanks for listening.
So you think about, are we putting the right building blocks into our body that's going to give us this health? And that's the whole, one of the philosophies behind this Natural Nutrition Coach program. And we also look at healthy digestion because, again, it doesn't matter if you have the best diet in the world. If you're not absorbing it and your body's not able to use it, then it's not benefiting you. So healthy digestion is really, really key. And that's one of the things that we promote in this course. It makes this unique and different than other courses that are out there, is that we really have a special focus on digestive health. And speaking from personal experience working with so many different clients, digestion is a huge issue and it's not a lot of that people talk about. But when you get into a conversation with them, when you're going through their information and you have that deeper connection and they're talking to you about the fact that, they do have issues with digestion, it can actually be detrimental in their life. So if you can help them address those issues, as well as address some of the other issues they may be coming for, for weight and so on, you're going to have a client that's going to have a fabulous outcome. And you're also going to have a client that's going to want to work with you and stay with you.
Yeah, so I have a question for you then. What are some of the most common issues that you see that are health related working as a personal trainer and a cancer exercise specialist? What are some of these common ones that you see? I can think of some that I know, like heartburn or something like that. Do you have some other ones that you commonly see that people could be helped by using this program?
Oh, absolutely. Heartburn's a huge one. It's funny. It's one of the reasons that I got into this whole holistic practitioner business in the first place is because I suffered terribly with acid reflux, heartburn. I was on medication for it. Really wasn't doing anything for me. I would get relief, but I wasn't getting any better. And then I found out by talking with somebody that actually had taken a holistic program, natural nutrition program, that it actually wasn't the fact that I had too much acid in my stomach, which is a lot of people think about. And we take all of those antacid tablets and the proton pump inhibitors to stop the acid from pumping. It actually is because we're not producing enough acid in our stomach to help break down the food. And when I realized that, when I heard that, it's like, well, how does that work? And I had to find out. And that really intrigued me. And that kind of led me down the path to becoming a holistic practitioner. But so besides doing the, acid reflux, that's a big one. So many people suffer from that. Osteoporosis, especially if you're working with an older generation, that's a huge thing. And it often comes back to inflammation, which also comes back to what we're eating. So for example, osteoporosis and arthritis. My mom suffers from arthritis. And one of the things I have her do is create a food journal and then look to see what foods that she's eating, and see if there's a correlation. Because as holistic practitioners, we're really detectives. And it's very cool to do this because you can start to link things and see patterns. So for example, some foods contain an enzyme called solanine, and they call them nightshade vegetables. So eggplants and potatoes, peppers, things that we would think are very healthy. But if you're suffering from arthritis, those can actually trigger a flare up. So we would track patterns and say, okay, did you have potatoes the night before, maybe the day before that? And we'd sort of recognize patterns. Okay, there's certain things, tomatoes even, that might spark that flare up. So then you know to either eliminate it from the diet, or limit how much you can have. Thyroid is huge, especially with women, into their 40s and 50s. I see so much of that. Gout, heart issues. So, a lot of people on blood thinners, and of course, cancer. And that was, one of the main reasons that I got into the fitness world in the first place was my experience as a survivor of breast cancer.
Would you agree that MedeXN really is a place where wellness professionals or personal trainers and fitness professionals can come and take courses where they can kind of become that holistic practitioner? They learn how to feed the body and fuel the body, but then also have other courses that will help them even become a more thorough holistic practitioner. I know we talk about medical fitness exercise with MedeXN, but I also see it as being almost a holistic practitioner to kind of dig down deeper into people's issues.
Absolutely. As a fitness professional, we we have a foundation in looking at how we train people with physical exercise. We get some basic information on nutrition, but for chronic conditions, we really don't go into any depth. And if you're working with a population that's probably 40 and over, you're always going to have some chronic illness in there at some point. So having a little bit more in-depth knowledge on some of these chronic illnesses, for example, working with people with diabetes or prediabetes, working with people that have cancer or either survivors or going through treatment, multiple sclerosis, heart problems, all of these things, having a little bit more in-depth knowledge, you're going to make sure that you're doing the right thing for your client, because an apparently healthy client will respond differently to your exercise programming than someone that has chronic health issues. So you have to be aware of all the contraindications. I'll give you a really quick example. For one of the surgeries that you can have once you've had a mastectomy and you want to have a reconstruction involves using the latissimus dorsi muscle. So essentially what they would do is take that lat muscle and pull it through underneath to build a breast mound and create a new breast. But if you were prescribing exercise for your client and they had that reconstruction done, would you do a lat pull down? In most cases, with a normally healthy client that hasn't had reconstruction, a lat pull down would be considered kind of a standard exercise. But for somebody that's had this reconstruction done, if they're doing that lat pull down, if you think about it, you've got the chest muscle, which is now the latissimus dorsi, or the breast muscle, or breast, I should say, is actually going to move because you've got that lat muscle there. So there's certain contraindications with medications, all kinds of things that you need to consider when you're working with clients with these chronic illnesses. The thing is, as fitness professionals, we really need to have this information because our demographic, the population, is getting older. So the chances that you're going to be working with some of this population is just increasing all the time. And also, you don't want to do something that's going to set them back or cause them to get an injury or worse. So having this basic level of information, or building on it. For example, one of the courses that we have on diabetes, it's actually 3 levels. So you can take the foundational course, And then, if that's something that you're really interested in and want to work with people with diabetes and prediabetes on a more regular basis, you can take the advanced levels and learn how to work with people with, that are pregnant, athletes, and so on. So there's a way that you can elevate your knowledge. For cancer, absolutely. I highly recommend the Cancer Exercise Specialist Program. I took it. I've been a cancer exercise specialist now for 7 years. And it makes a huge difference to working with these clients. And I understand their needs so much better.
Right. So now you said you are a holistic nutritionist and a cancer exercise specialist and a personal trainer. And so giving advice out to other professionals in the fitness industry or cancer exercise specialist department there, how do you kind of take your nutrition knowledge and use it with those clients?
Any fitness professional can relate, because we always have clients that ask us for nutrition advice or dietary advice. And, not everybody feels comfortable with doing that. Having this natural nutrition coach program is just going to give you that base of knowledge, that foundation to be able to work with these clients more safely, help them to build nutrition into their overall lifestyle, and utilize it, as we say, for prevention of chronic illness and just for overall health. So you're just going to have that much more confidence to work with your client, provide the information, and your clients are going to have that better outcome that they're looking for, because you're encompassing an entire package. So you've got your skills as a cancer exercise specialist, a fitness professional. You've also got the foundational knowledge from being a natural nutrition coach, and you're able to bring that together and just provide even that much better service for your client.
Right. And so through that, they're able to really set themselves apart from other practitioners as well.
Yes, absolutely. So as far as, you're able to serve your client so much better. And that's what we get into the business for, because we love working with people. We want to help them get the best results they possibly can. But we're also in business. And by, having this course, you're able to build you can either use it as a separate business opportunity. So you might even just do nutrition consulting or nutrition coaching, or you can put it together in a package with your training. So you have that variability, the ability to just build it in, but it helps to build your business and also helps you to be set apart from your competitors. So you're going to be bringing more people into your practice or into your business.
Right. It seems like the obvious solution too, like you said, going towards the fact that our baby boomers are now getting older and the elder population is going to need more and more support, that our medical professionals can't necessarily provide. So
Yeah.
my question is, do you want to explain a little bit more about how you came to the decision of making this natural nutrition course and teaming up with Lisa here, and just a little bit more about that journey?
Well, it's interesting. First, it's been a real evolution for me. Getting into the fitness business, becoming a personal trainer, after I had gone through my recovery as a breast cancer survivor, finding out about the cancer exercise specialist course, I was so excited. And when I took that, it just totally opened my eyes. I was one of the first cancer exercise specialists in my area, actually the first. And I was so excited to be able to bring that to my clients. But then again, I was getting all of these questions about nutrition. And I knew from my own experience as a breast cancer survivor, nutrition is so important, healthy nutrition. And so I wanted to find a little bit more about it. Of course, then when I had that experience learning more about healthy digestion and about my own issues with acid reflux and heartburn, that just kind of sparked me into becoming a registered holistic nutritionist. When I completed the course, I realized that there were certain things that were just all the time I was getting a lot around healthy, their digestion concerns. How do I put my meal plans together? What are some of the things that I should be eating? And then there were some specific health concerns, like I was talking about earlier. It could be arthritis and other issues, and how I would make recommendations for foods for that, and maybe even supplements. And I realized that there's a huge opportunity for other fitness professionals to learn that, but not necessarily go through a 2-year course, a 1-year or 2-year course, something that was a little bit more condensed, that had all the information that they needed. And it also would provide a professional development for them. So I approached Lisa, who was a mentor for me, talked to her about the idea, and she was really enthusiastic and excited. And so it became a collaboration, and it's been, I think, 14 months, Lisa. So for 16 months since we first started, and it was a huge endeavor, a lot more than we originally anticipated. But we wanted to make it the best course that we absolutely could, bringing our philosophy for healthy eating, a healthy lifestyle. What did that encompass? And also to make it unique in that we brought more of the coaching aspect into it as well. So how to coach your client, work with your client so that they become empowered to make these choices for themselves to live a healthier lifestyle, incorporate more healthy foods into their diet. And we know that that creates a long-term success for them, and that's a better outcome for them as well. So working with Lisa, and I think can probably speak to it a little bit as well, because I know she was very excited when we first started collaborating. Hopefully she's still excited.
Well, I am still excited. I'm even more excited, as a matter of fact, because I don't know that when we first started, I don't think we realized the specific direction that the program is going to go into. I've taught 5 different schools, and I've written lots of courses, but this is so unique because of that coaching element. So as the writing was evolving and the program was evolving, and we brought more and more of the coaching into it, I thought, my goodness, like, why aren't all the other programs doing exactly what we're doing here? Because this is the missing link. You know, we were having this conversation the other day, Heather, where I always say to my nutrition students, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But what we're doing here is we're teaching our practitioners how to teach their clients to make the horse drink. So we're giving them tools, not only with the education and the nutrition component, but understanding the etiology of illnesses and inflammation and the source of where a lot of their issues are coming from. But also we're teaching them how to strategize, you know, how to put strategies into place in their lifestyle, in their week, in their cooking, in their menu planning, to be able to actually pull it off and implement the advice that we're giving them. And that's the biggest difference between this program. And that's what's got me super excited right now.
I'd have to agree with you. I think that's one of the reasons why I got so excited about it when you guys brought it to me to do the business portion of it was the coaching part, because it's the one thing as a business coach for holistic nutritionists that I get asked all the time. The missing link is, how do I get this to my clients? How do I get them to follow what I say? And it was actually, as a holistic nutritionist, one of my first blocks in my own business was, how the heck do I get anybody to listen? So I do love the coaching component a lot in this, and it's what makes me excited as well, coming from the exact same question, essentially, is like how to do this, how to make it happen.
Yeah. And it's a philosophy I've even carried from my own personal training experience. I want to bring my clients to the point where they actually don't need me. They stay with me because they choose to. And, you know, we want them, I feel like the mother hen, I want them to fly and be successful and go and you know, long term, they maintain the changes. And that's so important to overall success. We all know there's so many programs out there that'll bring a client through, you know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, they lose the weight, and then gradually it'll creep back on, and oftentimes they gain even more weight back. So the aim of, you know, working with coaching a client is to really have them be empowered and understand, what's best for them, make the choices that's best for them and their lifestyle and their family, that's going to give them the results that they want. But as a coach, we hold them accountable. And that process works so well. So little changes accumulate to those big changes over time. And then you see the success, you see the excitement, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, they're still maintaining. Whereas, before, and Lisa can speak to this, we all see the yo-yo dieting. And that was one of the things that we talked about in her nutrition modules. She talks about breaking that cycle. We want to get away from the yo-yo dieting and just get them to a place where they can, maintain, and it's maintainable. So it's not just a diet for a time, it's their nutrition plan for their life.
When I'm working with holistic nutritionists coming out, and I know these guys are going to be natural nutrition coaches, I almost feel like I wish I was coaching natural nutrition coaches, because I feel like the way that the programs are in terms of the bigger holistic nutrition schools, for example, it's more of a consulting approach. And so the power is really being, in the consultant's position and not necessarily the coach empowering the client. And I think that is really the missing link when it comes to lasting change, is making sure that the power is in the client's hands and they're given the tools that they need to actually make that success. So I think what you guys have done is married the two together really well, and it's impressive, because you guys saw it, I think, the same gap that I did, but from a completely different approach. So it just goes to show you that you guys really are filling this this need, I think.
And from becoming, as a fitness professional, seeing what's available on that side from nutrition, and then having become doing the holistic nutritional component, bringing them together just made sense.
Yeah.
And it really, I don't know why anybody hadn't thought of it before, but I'm excited that we did. And I'm really excited that we're able to bring it to everyone, and at such a reasonable cost. And that's one of the differentiating factors for our program as well, because there's a lot of programs out there, but they're very expensive and they're very time intensive. And some of the things that we wanted to do is be able to bring this more affordable, but also providing the foundation, what they actually really need to work with the client. So, we've sort of cut out all of the, I call it maybe fluff. I don't know what the proper word is for it, but we wanted to make sure that everything we're providing is what they needed to be successful. So that's why we were so excited to bring you in, Lynn, to the this whole program, because adding the coaching element with the nutrition was awesome, but also having the business component, because I know there's so many people, myself included, when you come through the fitness program, you become certified as a fitness professional, or if you come through the program to become a holistic practitioner, you still have that. If you don't have the business background, that's what's missing for so many people. And also, what forms do I use? What should I be providing my client? Getting my client registered, what do I do? So, or even setting up a business from, what do I need to consider when I'm setting up a business? And that's where your program came in. So it makes such a well-rounded program. The value is amazing. And then we're providing professional development. So you get continuing education credits. We're continuing to add more organizations that recognize the course. So it's just I think it's an awesome program for people that are interested in providing recommendations to their clients for natural nutrition, having it as part of their practice, whether it's on its own or as part of a fitness practice, and providing that educational component as well.
For me, coming from working as a nutrition consultant in a gym and having, a husband who also is a personal trainer, we always said, when I got out of nutrition school and I started the Holistic Nutrition Hub, we always said, we need to have a nutrition course that eventually one day on our platform or on our site to promote, because we saw it as being, well, if they can do that, we can do that too, but it doesn't need to be at the price point, like you said, of these longer, bigger programs. And so to have it, we definitely endorse it on the side for, you know, fitness professionals or somebody who wants to get into a wellness journey, maybe for their family or for their own health journey. And it lets people in for a much, I guess, much less cost up front, but then has such a well-rounded component to it too, in the business side and the coaching side, which is the two things that I always felt were missing from my program and have continuously been trying to fill since I graduated in 2016 and through the Holistic Nutrition Hub as well. So I mean, we fully endorse it, of course, in terms of what you guys are trying to do, and we want to see it, you know, offered to as many people as we possibly can as well, because it's I see such value in it, and that's coming from, you know, somebody who's gone to another program as well. So
I'd like to speak a little bit to the cancer exercise specialists out there. Where would you put this program, you know, in your practice? So I know there was some talk about, okay, well, if you're undergoing cancer treatment, shouldn't you work with a dietitian? If your oncologist or if their oncologist recommends that they work with a dietitian, absolutely, and you never go against, you know, doctor's orders or recommendations, or if the dietitian recommends something, they're prescribing a diet. You know, as part of your scope of practice as a natural nutrition coach, we don't prescribe. So we can make recommendations. However, not everybody has the opportunity to work with a dietitian. So just making recommendations that they are eating healthy, that they're having nutritionally dense food, because one of the issues you can run up against when they're undergoing treatment is they're not eating because they're nauseous. Cancer cachexia, they get muscle wasting, and we know the prognosis if they're wasting away essentially is not as favorable as if they're actually being able to eat and at least maintain. So helping them make those healthy choices. But beyond treatment, many people are in survivorship for years, for the rest of their lives. So here's a huge opportunity because they need to eat healthy. We want to prevent because we know that nutrition is so important for cancer prevention. So good healthy eating, we want to let them know what that means, because a lot of people don't. So giving them recommendations, working with them to improve their diet, absolutely that's within the scope of practice for a natural nutrition coach. And you're just providing a service to your client that they really need.
yeah, for sure. I think that's an important way of looking at it. I know that when I was working with one client who had cancer personally, you know, she was also working alongside with a personal trainer as well. And so being able to be that one go-to person, especially when it comes to such a sensitive group of clientele, I should say, I think it is important to have, you know, that connection where you can give advice and not have to worry about making the wrong recommendation or stepping on other people's toes, or again, having to cause that person to find yet another healthcare practitioner, especially when they've probably already got a lot on the plate as well.
Yeah, and to be, as you said, to be that sort of go-to resource.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we emphasize in the course is that to know your scope of practice. So if there are things that are outside your scope of practice, if you have concerns, absolutely refer back to the doctor, refer to a dietitian, refer to another healthcare professional. But you know, most of the time, you will have the be within your scope of practice to talk to your clients about healthy eating and what that encompasses, what a healthy plate looks like. You know, potentially some supplements that are going to be helpful to them, how to have a healthy digestion. That's a huge thing because we know deficiencies, because we're not able to absorb our nutrients properly, can lead to health concerns. And so having that healthy digestion again is key. And that's something that we can absolutely help our clients with. So there are so many things that you can do as a natural nutrition coach. Be there as a support, be there as a resource, be there to refer if you need to, but you become that go-to that they're looking for and provide that service.
Right. So going back to some of the statistics, because Lisa had brought these up earlier. Lisa, do you want to share a few of the statistics that you looked up in regards to cancer earlier?
Yeah, well, we know actually this number has gone up significantly since 2007, when the evidence suggested that 30% of cancers were linked to lifestyle and diet. Now it's over 40% of cancers linked to diet and lifestyle, specifically lung, stomach, liver, colon, and breast cancer. And aside from smoking, which is a whole separate category, excess body fat and excess weight, a diet low in fruits or vegetables, a diet high in red or processed meats, a diet that includes alcohol, and unfortunately that's even a small amount, and physical inactivity are all tied to an increased risk of cancer. And those are all modifiable lifestyle and diet components. So we can control all of those. We can eat less processed meat and more fruits and vegetables. We can smoke less, we can drink less. So even just understanding what it is that you can do, especially if there is a strong risk of cancer in your family, or if you're in recovery, as Heather suggested, there is a lot that you can do as a person, and it's empowering to have this information. But as you know, Heather also mentioned, a lot of people just don't know where to start. It's their diet has been their diet for their entire life, because that was the way their parents ate, that was the way they learned to eat, or they have habits and patterns that are related to emotional eating that they're really struggling with, that causes them to make bad decisions. So the education that we bring in, not just for the consultant, for the practitioner, but also for the clients, is life-saving.
That's a good way of putting it. It could be life-saving, and you never know when you're working in this industry as a consultant or as a coach, you never know when that advice could be life-saving for a person or not. And so to have those tools in your back pocket, I don't know, it's like makes us like little mini superheroes.
Yeah, absolutely. And to speak again to for cancer exercise specialists, if you look at and I say opportunity, it could be business, but the opportunity to serve. 1 in 2 people will receive a diagnosis of cancer in their lifetime. And I know it's very similar in the US and around the world, which is shocking. It's a shocking statistic. The one good thing that's coming out of it is survivorship is increasing because of treatment, because of medications. Survivorship is going up, even as our numbers of cases our diagnoses are going up. That just means that there are so many more people out there that need your support, that are going to need your support in the future. So, absolutely increasing your education around how you work with these individuals, whether it's as a cancer exercise specialist or incorporating as well a natural nutrition coach program that will give you the overall knowledge that you need to work safely and effectively with this group. One of the things that we want to make sure of as fitness professionals, once you got your certification, that's just the beginning. You need to continually enhance your knowledge base, which is one of the reasons that most certifications ask for continuing education. And so you can choose what that continuing education is, where you want to take your practice. And I know a lot of times, I speak with people, it's like, oh, I've got to get my 10 CEUs or CECs or whatever I'm going to need. I need to have that quickly. And they just do something fast so that they get it. But I encourage people to look at what is their path. Where do they want to take this? Who do they want to serve? What niche interests them? And then look for more information in that. So medical fitness exercise, for example, is a huge opportunity, a huge field, and it's really really growing because there are so many people out there, again, with chronic illness. So knowing how to work with that population is becoming more and more important, but it'll open avenues for people that engage and have that knowledge more so than other people that don't. So I really encourage people as they're looking forward for professional development to not just take a course for the sake of having a course, but take it because it's somewhere they're looking at this as an opportunity for professional development to increase their knowledge base and to be able to serve more people.
Who else besides fitness professionals and cancer exercise specialists could take the NNC course?
So, and as far as the natural nutrition coach program goes, you don't actually have to be a fitness professional to take it, although it's a wonderful adjunct to your fitness profession, and is especially for cancer exercise specialists. If you are a yoga instructor, Pilates instructor, group fitness instructor, anybody on the group side as well, not just personal training, also allied health professionals. So we have people that are massage therapists, occupational therapists that would like to have more knowledge on nutrition because it's different again than what they learned, kinesiology. And then we also have people that for their own knowledge. So you have a real passion or an interest for natural nutrition and you kind of want to take it to the next level for yourself, for your own health, for your family. I know a lot of people that originally got into taking a lot of these programs, to become, for example, a holistic practitioner, got into it originally because of their own health concerns or health concerns with their family. So that's, as Lisa says, for your own edification. It's a great program. And maybe you have a real interest and you want to serve people and help them with health or with their healthy lifestyle and their food choices. So you need more of a foundation, more of a background. So this would be a great way to kind of get into becoming a holistic consultant or a coach, and for a reasonable price. And you'll be able to see if it's something that you enjoy as well.
Yeah, I actually, as a little secret, I've never said this on air before, but before I became a registered holistic nutritionist, I actually took a natural nutrition coach course, but through the UK, because there was nothing that I could actually take in Canada at the time to be able to actually practice. And somebody had offered me a job and I was like, okay, so how can I do this while being able to do it legally and be able to actually have it as a business? And so because I couldn't find anything that was relatively inexpensive in terms of what I wanted to do with it, I did that. And now that you guys have this course, it's really exciting because it's offered in Canada for Canadians and, really does fill that gap for people who are interested in, either for their health reasons, which is what I was doing, or to make it out of a business, which is ultimately what happened.
Yeah, and it's offered also, and that brings up a good point because we do have two different editions. We have one for Canadians and we have one for our American friends to the south. And they are basically the same course, the same foundation. You learn everything the same. But what we're accounting for is a little bit of difference between the way we spell some of our words and some statistics. So we wanted to make things as relevant as possible for people that are practicing in Canada and also for the people that practice in the US. And so we've taken that into consideration. So we've got the two different versions, essentially identical, except for a few of the different changes that I outlined. So people in the US won't be wondering why we spell fiber a different way, because we've spelt it the American way, and in Canada we spell it the Canadian way.
It's funny. So that's pretty in depth in terms of going from Canadian to American. Is there anything else that you would like people listening to this little interview to know?
If you're a practitioner of another complementary therapy, as you're working with your client, sometimes you know there's something else going on with them, but you maybe can't quite figure it out. With the nutrition education, sometimes there are the symptomatology that we discuss throughout the program might give you some insight into what's happening with your client on their diet side. Not all modalities are allowed to talk to their clients about diet, but as the practitioner, you will know what might be going on. It gives you a little bit of that extra insight that you can use in your own practice. But whether or not you can even use nutrition in your practice, the coaching and the business side of this program will benefit you in whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're or an acupuncturist or any of the other complementary practices that we already discussed. So it's a cool program. Check it out. And there's also a free trial. So if you're kind of curious about what it's all about, you can look at the first module and you'll see the sample of the writing style and the educational tools and information from the free trial in the chapter that's available to you to check out, to have a pretty concrete idea of what the program is going to be like.
Awesome. Heather, did you have anything to add to that?
To build on Lisa's point, I think people would really enjoy it just for their own knowledge, because there's so much information out there on nutrition. Not all of it is correct, let's say. And one of the things that Lisa and I decided from the very beginning when we started putting this course together, that we would cite actual studies. So it's not just us saying this is the way it is. I lost count of how many hundreds and hundreds. We're probably closer to 1,000 references. Wow. For our work. Many are peer-reviewed studies. So it's very sound as far as scientific research goes, but we wanted to have a more natural approach. I guess that's the way we're looking at it. So bringing that natural approach, our natural philosophy for healthy eating and a healthy lifestyle, but we wanted to make sure that there was sound science behind our recommendations.
Amazing. And you know what, I'm just thinking in terms of the cost of it too, when you say that anybody could take it, is like, if you are interested in natural nutrition and you want to work with a nutrition coach, it's almost the same amount to honestly take this entire natural nutrition coaching program, get some, education under your belt and know exactly how to help yourself. It gives you almost an entire education to start a new career, but it's also almost the same cost as working with a professional.
Lynn, I totally agree. That's a really great point. It's so affordable. We also, we have 2 payment plans. So we're trying to make it affordable for everybody. The way you put it, having people take the course for the same price as it would probably going out and getting consulting. So they'd actually have the information for themselves. They can use it for themselves, but potentially use it to help other people as well.
Honestly, in a time where people are, unfortunately losing their positions at jobs that they thought that they were going to be able to go back to, if anybody can become a natural nutrition coach, it gives that opportunity to almost re-educate or redefine the way that you're moving about in your life too, on a professional level as well.
Yeah. And I think too, it really gives you a good feeling for what it would be if you were interested in doing an actual career in natural nutrition, without having a huge cost investment. It gives you a really good feel for, and provides you the knowledge that you need to get started for sure.